From Church Militant Studios, this is the Church Militant Evening News.
Hello and thank you for joining us this Thursday, February 23rd. I am Hunter Bradford, along with James Fedua, here with Catholic News and Context one day after Ash Wednesday. Tonight, we will reveal an even darker turn in an already horrible story involving a celebrity priest. You'll hear the most recent details on the murder of an LA bishop, and the Holy Father might be confusing on many topics, but he is clear on calling for peace.
And leading us off tonight, the Father Marco Ivan Rupnik story, already involving testimony alleging he abused 20 nuns, has even more victims as of today. 15 new victims have come forward to testify against celebrity artist and serial abuser Father Rupnik. In a statement Tuesday, Father Johann Verschuren, the Jesuit superior in Rome, said that the Society of Jesus did give Rupnik a chance to defend himself, but Rupnik chose not to respond. Among the new victims are 12 women and 3 men who accused the artist of improper touching and rape in the context of psycho-spiritual manipulation. Questions continue to be raised over whether Pope Francis personally intervened to lift Rupnik's excommunication. Pope Francis's public response has been ambiguous.
Joining us to explain the details is our Rome correspondent, Dr. Jules Gomez. Jules, good to see you, but 15 new victims. Surely both the Jesuits and the Vatican have to punish Rupnik. I mean, it's beyond ridiculous now, but that would presuppose that these new victims have credible accusations, which they may or may not be. We don't know. So, Jules, who are these new victims? What do we know about them?
Hunter, it's very interesting you use the term credible, because Father Johann Verschuren, who issued the statement about this on Tuesday, said precisely that. He said, we have listened to these 15 victims. Special investigators have been appointed. They've done their due diligence. And from the fact that these testimonies are so varied, they come from different periods, he says we can conclude that these reports are credible. There are 13 women or 12 women. There are 2 slightly differing accounts, because Verschuren also spoke to the Italian newspaper La Repubblica, and 2 or 3 men. Now, this is in addition to 9 nuns who already gave their testimonies to Archbishop Libanori when he went there on an investigation to Slovenia to the Loyola community.
I mean, what more do they need to know to do something about this? Because Francis lifted the excommunication, so is he going to, impose it again? But those are questions I bet we won't answer. So now that the facts have been established, Jules, this goes back to what I was originally wondering. What is the Vatican and the Jesuits going to do about Rupnik?
Well, Jesuits say they want to play fair. They want to give Rupnik a chance to explain his side. But Rupnik refused to appear before the investigators. Now, that should tell you something. According to canon law, he can be dismissed from the Jesuits, but then Verschuren says it's complicated, because if he repents even at the last moment, they cannot really throw him out. So they're still on the fence as to what should be done to Rupnik. They have tightened the restrictions on him. He can no longer leave Rome, but much more needs to be said, and that there is still silence on those matters.
And then the question beyond that is, what exactly is repentance? How do they know that he's truly repenting? But Jules, I hope and pray that the Vatican will do the right thing in this situation. And thank you for your reporting and for your time today.
Thank you, Hunter.
God bless you.
Awesome. More updates on the Bishop O'Connell murder. The suspect has now been formally charged. Carlos Medina was charged with murder yesterday and could face 35 years in prison if convicted, practically a life sentence for the 61-year-old. Still no motive for the crime as of yet, but as we reported previously, Sheriff Robert Luna said at a press conference on Monday that there may have been a money dispute between the bishop and Medina.
And as Catholics are still coming to terms with Bishop O'Connell's passing, a friend of Church Militant is revealing a link between the cleric and a cult. In tonight's Indepth report, Church Militant's Aidan O'Connor takes a closer look at what may be a ritual execution.
Catholic apologist and radio host Jesse Romero has revealed chilling details surrounding the recent death of Los Angeles Auxiliary Bishop David O'Connell. Romero, an ex-law enforcement officer, shared inside information on the prelate's death.
My confidential, reliable informant confirms that it was a murder, that Bishop O'Connell was shot behind the head several times, unlike what's being reported right now.
On Saturday, Bishop O'Connell was found dead in his home. Local police have released that O'Connell sustained at least one gunshot wound to the torso. But Romero's informant also noted how O'Connell's body was found by police.
The killer, they put him on his back, they put him in a supine position, and they had him cross his hands. That's a ritual killing. This is a Masonic way of killing a patriarch.
Another fact not being reported by mainstream media is the suspected killer's addiction to meth. Romero shares his own experience with meth addicts.
100% of the people that I've spoken of, Michael, that are meth drug addicts have all told me that while under the influence of meth, they see the demons, they're tortured by demons, they talk to demons. So meth is a drug that's equivalent to the Ouija board.
With more insider information, Romero counts how a seminarian once found an attendance card to the infamous Bohemian Grove while cleaning Bishop O'Connell's room. The Bohemian Grove is a private meeting place in California run by a secret society founded in the 1800s. Reporters have exposed a ritualistic performance at the Grove called Cremation of Care, in which members burn a human effigy in front of a gigantic stone owl. A lengthy list of presidents, world leaders, businessmen, oligarchs, and even men involved in creating the atomic bomb have attended the Grove. Despite the bishop's ties to the club, Romero recounted how Bishop O'Connell once ascended a mountain with the Blessed Sacrament to consecrate the entire sordid LA County to Jesus Christ. Aidan O'Connor, Church Militant, Evening News, Detroit.
Jesse Romero also revealed that Bishop O'Connell was personally involved in multiple exorcisms, corresponding with prominent exorcist Father Chad Ripperger. May God have mercy on his soul.
A Catholic bookstore in Mississippi is suing the city of Jacksonville for a law that it claims is a violation of religious freedom. Yesterday, nonprofit legal organization Alliance Defending Freedom filed the lawsuit on behalf of Queen of Angels Catholic Bookstore against Jacksonville. Under the city's human rights ordinance, the bookstore can't lead anyone to feel unwelcome. So, for example, if the bookstore's owner defends the practice of using only a customer's pronouns that correspond to reality, then the company would be slammed with fines and damages.
Pope Francis is calling for peace as the one-year anniversary of the war in Ukraine approaches. At this week's general audience, the pontiff lamented the number of dead, wounded, and displaced people resulting from the conflict, adding, "I appeal to everyone who has authority over nations to commit themselves in a concrete way to end the conflict, to reach a ceasefire and start peace negotiations." Conveying the same message, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban tweeted yesterday, quote, "The only way to save lives is through ceasefire and peace talks." And when we come back, even with the FBI barging into houses, pro-lifers are not quitting. And a child services agent is accused of convincing a young girl to kill her baby. Stay tuned, all that and more up next. Thank you for watching the first half of Church Militant Evening News.
If you would like to watch the rest of today's episode, please click the link in the description, and we'll see you at churchmilitant.com. God love you.